All right, how we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? So today is, wow, I'm losing track of what day it is. So the third was last week. This is the ninth, 9 November 2020. A little bit past 8:30 a.m. So I was just out this morning, hustling on the grind, doing my runs and stuff like that. And I think I'm gonna go work out here in a little bit, maybe run a couple of miles on the treadmill. And so today I want to speak on all these rappers that are getting killed. All right, I'm more so of how can I say now a reinforced Christian man now. Okay, but I am human, and we are in the real world. Okay, so and I look at various channels because to get various opinions because I like to learn stuff, and I just been seeing more and more of these articles like on YouTube about these guys getting killed. And don't get me wrong, I'm human, and these rap guys, that is, okay. Over the last couple of years, it's like 25 or 26 rappers are getting killed. It's like more and more as we getting time is coming by. Time is passing by, and myself, I don't remember all this stuff happening back in the days when I was more so into rap. A little bit about the rap or hip hop scene. That was something that was concocted out of disco, like in the latter to late 70s, and I just think that it was a ploy. It comes out of the Bronx and the black community to be able to express yourself. A lot of it was political. A lot of it was a chance for a lot of rap groups to do the type of music that they want to do. And I remember Go-Go. Maybe I could talk about Go-Go some other time, or the Go-Go's right around DC, and all that stuff again comes out of the disco era. All right, from my studies and all that. Okay, but what I'm trying to get at is, it was really about maybe like politics or like police brutality, or again, getting everybody together and everybody having a good time. I can remember groups when I was a kid, like the Sugar Hill Gang, the other one, Grandmaster Flash, like in the 80s. Okay, I can remember back in the day I used to watch those guys like on MTV and all that, or we used to emulate, the way those guys dressed with the Kangos and, muscle shirts and the little belts with your name on it, Shell to Adidas and Pumas and all that. And again, it was really just all about having a good time, expressing maybe our struggles in the inner community. And I just think that it got to where we've had divisions within that rap era and so forth that caused a little bit of beef. Again, the same stuff went on back then, but not the way that it's going on now. I can remember one of the first guys that got killed or whatever over rap is a guy named Scott La Rock. And the Boogie Down Productions, a little beef between Scott La Rock and KRS and the Roxanne Shante, and she's a fierce rapper. Okay, she was nobody to be played with. In fact, she does commentating right now on Rock the Bells, and I listen to that sometimes, because that's where my legions were. Growing up in Virginia, my dad is from the Northeast and all that, and there was a lot of people that I was involved around in my day or whatever that came from Virginia, where I grew up. Got incoherent for a second there. That's just where my legions were, where everybody wanted to be a rapper or a basketball player or a football player or whatever. Okay, This is one of the things that's going to stick with me. But back to what I was saying about Scott LaRock, all right? A little bit of beef there. But people may have had some beef and even beef within in the groups and so forth. Like, I didn't know that there was a lot of divisions in the NWA, okay, that they came out in the late 80s, or like Public Enemy, all right? But usually they would speak on the same issues, and even if they were in different parts of the country. One of the first, I believe, it's like prolific killings were between Tupac and Biggie in the middle 90s, all right? And a lot of that is beef within two people. Maybe I can get into that later, all right? And it just caused a rift between East Coast and West Coast. But a lot of it's about money, women, that type of stuff, all right? But now the way it is, I think it's just so many rappers now, and a lot of these rappers are crossed in between rapping and dealing drugs, and a lot of these rappers are pretending to be somebody that they're not these days. A lot of these rappers now, that they have parents that are doctors and lawyers going through private school, and they may hear tales about maybe they have a relative or whatever, and then they try to live that life or whatever. But that's a whole different life compared to the rap game and so forth. Yeah, I know that it's, rappers express what they do, or they may express like crime stories and so forth, but the way that the rap is, maybe into like the middle 90s, a lot of the rap had some type of value to it, some type of message value that is, well, with politically, or just trying to get everybody together to get their rap scene planted on ground. But I think once we got to the middle 90s, there was still a lot of value to it, but a lot of that value was going away and getting in more to the gangster type of thing, okay? Like I remember like Tupac being half and half or whatever, okay? I didn't understand sometimes that he would do like a Dear Mama, or he would talk about the police and the way that, he was mistreated. And then he would just go off on different rappers or whatever in the East Coast. But a lot of these guys now, it's like no message value to it. We've had these guys now, I believe one of the more popular guys that got killed is some guy named Pop Smoke, and I'm trying to think of the other one, Triple X Tenacion, all right? That there's people that I hear about the most. There are people that are probably going to talk about, and these guys are like on the cusp of getting a record deal and being somebody big time, and then they end up getting killed, okay? That these guys were doing some stuff that they weren't supposed to do, and they end up getting crossed up, and these guys end up getting killed, like right at the time where they sign a record deal. And I'm starting to think, well, all these guys are dying or whatever. These are sacrifices. Because now I'm hearing about, let's say, you get the guy get killed, and then you got one of the other guys, their partner, end up coming up saying that they know this guy, or it's somebody that's been out for a while, and then you hear about allegedly, now I'm saying allegedly, their name is getting caught up in it. Okay, like there's one of the guys from, I believe, Toronto got killed here a couple of years ago, and they said that Drake's name is caught up in it, okay? I'm saying allegedly. All right, but we don't know. But it's a lot of these, and there's a couple of ladies also that had died from overdoses, drug overdoses. So I'm thinking, are these rappers getting poisoned? Or somebody ratting these guys out, and maybe they just want them off the street? But I believe that there's a difference between a rapper and somebody that wants to be in the crime scene, and you have to choose one or the other. many of the guys, and even I know some back home that got caught up, you know, dealing drugs or doing some stuff that they weren't supposed to do. People like that, they want to get out, or if they get caught up, they want to get out and stay out. Now, some people, okay, let's just say 40 or 50 years ago, they may get into the crime scene or whatever because they didn't get the opportunities, all right? So a lot of these old timers, and they may raise enough money to start their own, you know, businesses. Some are able to do that and pull it off, and maybe some get caught up and do some time, and, you know, they rehabilitate themselves and they're able to get out, unless you probably kill somebody. But that's the name of the game. I think that there's a time when you get into something, a lot of those guys, all right, you don't know what situation they're in, all right, they may have grew up with maybe selling drugs or whatever, and then they're finding that big break with, you know, if they have a talent or whatever, but I think they just stay in it too long. But there's a time that you got to get out. And I think that some of these guys, they feel like if they leave the community, then they're disloyal with their families and all that, okay? Or somebody might sabotage, all right? Maybe somebody may come out after their family and all that. I think that's what happened to this guy. His name is Nipsey Hussle, all right? Another inspiring guy that just signed a big contract in LA and ended up getting killed. But that's a different story, because I think the way he wanted to do things was against what the record companies wanted him to do because he wanted to take the money and put it back into the community. And I believe that many of the powers that be that don't like that. But there's a way that it could happen. But I believe, again, he stayed in the community too long, dealing with people, all right, that I believe that they had some that had beef with him, that were jealous because he was making money, but he had a big contract anyway and ended up getting killed. But there's a time to get out of that and probably get out of the community, because the community will devalue. And I'm thinking this is what's happening with these rappers, all right? And I will say this, I believe that probably the police is involved, all right? And these are sacrifices, all right? Because let's just face it, the police is a Saturnian organization, okay? And they're also are on the lookout as well, okay, for somebody with prominence, especially they come out of the black community, okay, because they can make a difference. They do have a voice. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what's happening with these young guys. All right, these are guys that I haven't even heard about. They end up getting popped up, and next thing you know, like, I may do some channel checking when I'm doing lift rides and all that, and then this person pops up or whatever. You know, this guy's like got a number one, got a top hit with one of, let's say, the rappers that are already out, okay, that's been out for a minute. Let's say like I forgot that one guy. He's got color hair, some crazy guy or whatever, okay, and I believe that, quite frankly, that he's the feds. I can't think of the guy, but he's from New York, all right, pretending to be somebody that they're not. And it's getting more and more of a dirty game, where I believe that, let's say back 20, 30, 40 years ago, then the rap game had more value to it. All right, these guys are getting the biggest contracts ever. But I do believe that, all in all, that these killings are a cautionary tale for a lot of guys that are aspiring, that it's a time to get out, and you have to choose either one or the other. This will probably apply to celebrities, athletes that work so hard to get to that brink of success where they can provide for their whole family, or they can have a voice for a community. And that's one of the things I believe, again, when it's time to get out, when you make the money that you want to make, then you probably can do the type of work that you want to do. And that's what I want to say about a lot of these rappers that are being killed. Again, they're like 20-something people. There was a car parked over here. You know, I just find that alarming. And I'll just say, if you're religious, that really religion or Christianity and entertainment is really, really a bad mix. And I don't know, that there's got to be, again, a lot of the discernment, because a lot of these entertainers that stay in that business, they do a lot of stuff that's not good. All right, I do believe a lot of these killings are sacrifices, but that's just my take on it. It's just, again, alarming. And I don't know if it's a thing where the Most High is just reaching his hands out, okay, all right, and scooping these people up to try to get things back to where it needs to be. But if anybody's listening to this, you may want to tell your families, or if you're an aspiring rapper or whatever, okay, or entertainer of some sort, all right, that choose one or the other. All right, do what you got to do, but choose one or the other.
New text message from +1 41587 40041.
I'm going to end this video here, okay? And if things don't work out the way that you wanted to work out, find another way. But you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you end up getting arguments or fights, or somebody want to come after you. And that's my take on that for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace and blessings.